usually 10 minutes, but it's something else. We're talking about two teams that are going to have to show up and perform on this map that usually a lot of teams struggle with. So loading up right in here, we've got some a double brawler comp that's already popping off coming out from MF Doom. They clearly have a plan. We're just going to have to see how it pans out here.
Yeah, really interesting. Double brawler on Inkies, which is just so unbelievably open. And by Jove, it's working! It's working somehow, some way. Social Fox on the Drakkar midfield snipes it through. Flops Flame Flurry, and yeah, what can do when double brawlers scoring on you on Inkies in 20 seconds?
Yeah, and honestly, I don't disagree with this strategy. Inkies is a map that, again, it goes by very quickly, and so their plan is to just get these points one and done. Their whole comp, it can very easily be outscaled by speed, of which in this patch there's a lot, and so I think they're playing a dangerous game. They're just trying to end this in 3 sets. They want to show up and just sweep every point in less than 20 seconds, as they have been doing, and if they're able to get that done, and hey, I think that's just the game. But the moment the points last just a little bit too long, the moment that those who strike after get any sort of opportunity to make something happen, it might fall apart. Again, they just have no midfield presence, but right now they just don't need it. They are getting these barriers.
Yeah, they don't care in the slightest. 2 flips to work with. Water Cannon online, offering so much pressure. Social Fox trying to work them on side! Loses control! And there she goes. Jack Limestone covering the top angle, hoping that Social Fox could lock it down. It was not locked down, and such is the life when you push up as a goalie.
Yep, all the momentum that MF Doom had now gone. They're gonna have to try and recover, get the set back, and right now it's looking like they kind of got a flip used to dribble, and now Dorito blocking that angle, but still they have a KO, they have a power play, they have an open net, they have another flip, they have 2 flips. They have a lot to work with here, and it's kind of hard to see this point not go their way.
Yeah, Social Fox with the core, doesn't even need to use the flip, passes right to Flop. And there it goes. Another quick point, sub 30 seconds. This, like you were talking about, their game plan. They want to get these done and done fast. And there are some crazy picks to help them do it. Most notably, 1-2 punch on the board.
Yeah, I really want to see who picks up 1-2 punch. If it's Flop, that's going to be a very quick, like just more dash punches. Gets denied by Turbo. Great, great idea. He's going to be able to hit the core very quickly now, which I think is going to be very nice. That is a very potent win condition for this team. Again, just no mobility for MF Doom. They are 3 melee slow characters. They can't really deal with core speed. So if Turbo's able to make use of it, obviously it's a deny. Like, they just don't want to deal with it. But if they can make use of it, then that's going to be very big. Otherwise, Flop picked up size, and again, just another dash punch right there. No 1-2, no problem. That's a barrier, and that's another power play. Shades of the last point. This is looking great for MF Doom.
Yeah, all 3 members participating in the offense seamlessly off the power play. It's a far cry to what Lions Eat Bears wanted to accomplish with their last games in the previous sets. Because these 3 members, they get 1 kill, and they just walk them down. And Zonseki, even though he's able to get this barrier, it gets traded relatively quickly, but the core still in their possession. That water cannon, so dangerous, forces out the flip. A huge break for MF Doom as we're in an open net situation.
Yeah, and we are seeing some of the value out of this Drakkar pick, who obviously is a brawler. A lot of value out of Julie. Flop is just getting these dash punches left and right, but the Drakkar ult always been one of those tools that's really nice. It slows your enemies. We saw Social Fox hit Turbo with it. It didn't amount to much, but I think that's something to watch out for. That is a way to mitigate this speed deficit, the mobility. And here, big flip coming out, not able to score it, but there, Molten Bolt again, also blocked by Brett, who picked up the Omega Infused Accelerator. New Awakening on the board, going to be moving different here, has like 500 stagger total right now, but again, is able to just get so much mobility in the net on Inkies. That's going to be really nice. And both teams right now, we're in overtime. This 1-2 punch has a great opportunity, but that's going to be Zonseki interrupting the dribble, not letting that go through, getting a goal, tying up this set. And it seems like all the momentum that MF Doom really exploded with beginning of this game is starting to slow down.
Yeah, Red's accelerator pick makes it so that the defense is so much easier, actually, which you would think would be with the contrary because it's the double brawlers. But, I mean, Breads covers like 75% of the open net, and then Turbo Zonseki get the other half, or the other 25. And it's not really a challenge for them to defend as long as they're not getting their confirmed, which it would be a challenge for MF Doom with these forwards running interference. With possession of the core, though, it's Turbo. Zonseki with the flip, has to wait out. The Cosmic expands, dashing in with the passive, but doesn't have the right angle for it. Still, though, core on a favorable side. Zonseki gets staggered and is going to get killed, but saved from death by Turbo, who flips it in and scores. Those who strike after. There we go. Those who strike after. Wait, is that an Expedition 33 reference?
I think it is, and they are here striking after, looking to strike, not strike out. That's the bad one. Looking to strike in, dare I say. And that save from the previous point, saving Zonseki's life, being able to score before he was able to get KO'd. Saved his orbs. It's only 2 orb stacks, but still the Awakening on the board. Here now, another power play, and just every time MF Doom gets power play, they get something out of it, and it's been so valuable. Not able to get anything out of the water, but if they're able to score here, they can tie up this set and look to try and regain or reaffirm that lead. And they're going to with a big dash punch right there, able to get it right past Breads. Just not fast enough through Zonseki. And hey, 1 more point, and they can take this game 2 sets up. Looking to, again, sprint to the finish line here.
Yeah, Zonseki trying to fight back with a vengeance, but it's Turbo with the piercing shot confirmed that's able to seal the deal and get that barrier gone. Nice flip from Social Fox, diffusing a lot of pressure that was going to be applied there with the water cannon. And Obscure Breads able to get the core with the tail end of that flip, saving that barrier, making the challenge of this double brawler comp to get that barrier down a lot harder for them. Look at all this speed from this now, by the way. Just able to control this core, walk to positions where goalies normally can't and rely on their teammates to. It's the power of this accelerator, which is going unpunished thus far. Zonseki will be punished, though, taking blows from every single member of MF Doom. It's another power play. A nice flip from Flop in the midfield. Able to get that barrier down. Gets the Flame Flurry to boots! And the lock and load plus the punch make the core bounce in just the right way, where MF Doom make that goal happen out of thin air.
Yeah, so much coverage in that corner, and both the brawlers able to push it through. Obscure Breads has a ton of speed and is, I think, made that set a lot longer than the previous set. Gave them a much better chance because, especially now as a character, can just hit stun both the brawlers. It kind of stuffs out their opportunities and then has enough speed to cover everything else. It's a good matchup, but there's just too much pressure. The KOs are coming through, and now MF Doom pulling 2 sets ahead. They really need to win this set if they want to get it done, but big draft. We saw Flop pick up Bulk Up. That's probably the biggest pick of the draft. And team player on Turbo now has 1-2 team player. We're going to be seeing a ton of core speed. Again, a great opportunity to try and bring this game back. Core speed is always going to be great into multiple melee characters, but with another KO, kind of hard to find out who to team player to, as Zonseki down, and now Obscure Breads and Turbo just forced on the defense here.
Yeah, but Obscure Breads most notably picked up stacks on stacks when Team Player and Manu were up for this now, recognizing that speed is their win con, and was able to help defuse this power play, stepping up and cutting the pass using all that speed. Breads is really the player to watch out here for, because it's the goalie's job to slow the game down, prolong the sets, and Obscure Breads will be doing just that with all this speed that they have.
Yeah, I mean, look at this guy. He's just moving so quickly. He has so much coverage, and boom! A great Oni's Blade coming out from Zonseki, putting it in. I believe this is the first time they've scored the first goal of the set. So, again, MF Doom is kind of fighting against the clock here. They have to score as fast as possible, make these points very quick, just like that, because otherwise they're going to eventually get run down by the speed.
Yeah, and there's the speed again from Bread, saving that goal once more. Power play still good, and unfortunately that's a Garfield moment. Nice setup from Flop to Social Fox. The lock and load's able to get it done right then and there. But still, I wouldn't be sweating too hard if I'm those who strike after, because we're close to reaching the point where we've outscaled the threat of this double brawler comp. But unfortunately, a power play with the pick-off turbo isn't going to help their case, especially with the flip coming up from Flop. Crazy angle, but isn't going to cash in on it quite just yet. Zonseki looking low, but is able to get healed back up. Still, though, the double brawlers trying to retain possession of this core and retain possession of a power play. There goes Zonseki, there goes a flip, and even though this barrier's down, it's far from over for MF Doom.
Yeah, certainly. They have this power play, looking to get the barrier, unable to right there, but still, those strike after have the core, have possession, are trying to get a push. Social Fox in the corner, looking for something. This barrier is still up. Again, Breads is so fast, able to share that speed with the now secondary. They just need to find an opportunity to get it in, but the defense from MF Doom is holding strong right now. Social Fox has a flip, might be able to do something with that. As Flop able to dash in and get the barrier, it was a super surge start, has that dash awakening on the Juliet, has the water, and is looking to get something. Not quite able to find anything yet. Turbo has that course beat, another Oni's Blade is going to be putting it in. Just Jack Limestone burning strike shot and primary there, looking for an up clear, not able to get it, and Zonseki striking down to put it in the bottom side. We could be seeing the first set win for those who strike after, and I think that would blow the game wide open for them.
Yeah, Zonseki making the most out of his awakenings because two of them are completely cosmetic right now. But what isn't cosmetic is the point that MF Doom just earned. A nice flip from Social Fox, dissecting the pressure and shooting it straight at the goal. It's really interesting to see the push and pull here from both of these teams. And if those who strike after are able to win this set, dare I say, I think they've scaled hard enough to win the game. But this water cannon's super dangerous for them. Obscure Bread's on the wrong side of it. Still, though, they're going to retain their point here. Two flips to work with. Zonseki with the Oni's Blade. Turbo trying to cash it in bot side. Uses the flip, gets snuffed out, and also Social Fox gets snuffed out as well. Their flame extinguished for now, but both flips are gone and out for the count as Flop is just hanging around, trying to cut passes when he can. Social Fox back online, and that barrier wasn't taken, so this is a huge boon for MF Doom. Looking to close it out right now is Jack Limestone, a little bit overzealous with the flip, gets punished for it. This is the worst case situation for them. Water cannon online, core in the dangerous spot, but Jack Limestone able to hold on to his nerves there, send it top side. A nice flip from Obscure Breads. Around the world we go once more, and Social Fox can't hold on to that core as the Cosmic Expanse is just big enough to save that goal. Zonseki Turbo overtime. This is great spot for them with the team player. Water cannon online. Turbo stays alive. So much chaos on the field as both these teams looking for the finishing touch, and the piercing shot is just that. Turbo seals the deal with it, and dare I say, the game, by allowing them to scale even harder.
Yeah, boom. Able to save that game for a match point, grab a set of their own, and I'm looking at aerials for Turbo here. You're going to be seeing peak performance on Zonseki to help survive a little bit longer. Aerials being denied, picked up by Social Fox, actually going to be a great opportunity to, again, get a little bit of speed of their own, a little bit of mobility. But among Titans on Obscure Breads, we're talking 800 movement speed on this guy. It's going to be absurd. But in the meantime, Prize Fighter on Flop could come into play. You know, we've been seeing a lot of these dash punch KOs. Peak performance is not, unfortunately, going to help against that. So those who strike after, it's going to have to be very, very careful around these walls, as now all of a sudden we're looking at a different game.
God.
The script has been flipped. That is an 8-second point coming out from those who strike after.
Yeah, the double brawlers want to get those 8-second points, but they're getting speed blitz right now by Obscure Breads, sitting at a calm 609 speed. Stack's not even fully stacked. Yoshi, I'm sure you're familiar with the Antarctican secret server build. Mosquito now, because that's what Obscure Breads is. Going to be zooming across this field. I mean, the speed, the midfield pressure, Breads not afraid to step up, but so is Jack Limestone. It's just going to be such a hard challenge for these double brawlers to score on a now that can cover virtually the entire net with this movement speed.
Yeah, when she pops the secondary, after 5 seconds, because I was looking and it was 798 at second one.
God.
We'll be breaking the 800 move speed. Like, it's just too fast. Of course, Among Titans does make Bread smaller. It's going to be harder to hit those strikes, but with this much move speed, it might not even matter. And here, again, barrier down for both teams. A big KO onto Jack Limestone. Now both these brawlers left to defend, and you know what they say, forwards in the net. That's going to be going in right then and there. Those who strike after are starting to run away with this game.
Yeah, they're drawing out the game. They're allowing Obscure Breads to stack their stacks, allowing it to hit overtime where team player is just that much more potent. The core is going fast, and so are the players. Flop trying to get in there, but Obscure Breads with all the speed, all the time, patience in the world, just able to diffuse the offensive threat of this Juliet. These 1-2 punches from Drakkar and Juliet, they aren't hitting as hard as they once were. As what that dash punch will. Oh my god, a little bit overzealous there as Obscure Breads hung too close to the edge, and Flop, down but not out, is going to make you pay for that every time. And that's a huge kill for them as well, because the stacks are no longer stacked. So this Mosquito is looking a lot more like a bloated Flop, I guess.
Yeah, stacks down is such a big deal. That is a prize fighter stack for Flop right there. Could be getting some more. Boom! Almost gets a KO. Zonseki's orbs and rampage stacks are intact for now, but very scary situation. We've now in this set seen both goalies get taken out, so who knows what could happen here, but again, still 1 point away from getting to a set 5. Oh. Sorry, still 1 point away from getting from set 5 as Flop has jumped in there and tied up this set, bringing us to match point once again.
Yeah, speed can't help you if you're hit stun. Those are the confirms that Breads has to look out for. And those are the only things that can get you. Look at Zonseki showing Jack Limestone one of his, but Flop takes them off the field. And a nice Molten Bolt from Social Fox. It's an open net situation with a chance for MF Doom to close it out right here. Offensive water cannon. A flip has been burned, but Turbo alone stands ahead of it all. Is able to diffuse the pressure. And now it's Zonseki's turn to strike, but the Oni's blade isn't going to ring quite true. But the Invis lock and load will. The power bonus made the core go way too fast. That's the hot shot glass cannon difference. And despite having so much speed, it comes down to that kill that Flop got on Breads. Those stacks would have made the difference. But the double brawler team, they were able to stuff out the worst of the scaling, and they're able to get this game.
Yeah, it looked to be just out of their grasp for a little bit. Beginning of set 4 was just those who strike after starting to blitz them down, and they, MF Doom, gotta grab my bearings, were able to seal it up in the end. They were able to secure it, not go into a set 5. Again, that set was very close. We're talking 0.5 down to the wire. Set 3 was also very close. If we went to a set 5, I don't think the double brawler comp on Inkies is going to be securing that game, but they were able to seal it out in the end. Like you said, one big KO and the whole point swung in their favor, and they only needed to win 3 more. So they were able to do it, get it done. That's one game for MF Doom, and 1 game away from qualifying for landing next week. So for those who strike after, got to be a little scared. Of course, both these teams fighting for that landing qualification. Otherwise, I believe they're going to have to play in a NASA LCQ to secure the last 2 spots, or go to NAST. So the options are out there. The stakes for all have never been higher. This is it. Game 5, or I suppose Series 5 of Liftoff. They have to show up here, and MF Doom showing up on their map pick. So we'll have to see which map ThoseWhoStrikeAfter picked and see if they have a strategy that can rival what MF Doom just pulled.
And I wonder if you're Strike, where exactly would you want to take MF Doom? Because it's clear that they came into Inkies with this sort of double brawler speed blitz in mind to just overwhelm and she's points. And when you look at the stat line, Flop got 10 kills on Juliet on Inkies with Super Surge, Volk, Prize Fighter, the works. That makes you scared, doesn't it? Taking them to a traditional night market or some other corner offense map where these brawlers will have the ability to kill some more. So I wonder if they want to take it to some place like Oni's Village, where they'll have the passing lines, because Strike After, they're playing it a lot more traditional. Brawler, midfield, goalie, right? To exploit the weakness of this cheese is to pass open, pass free, use core control, and speed. But this was a cheese pick again, so you really don't know what cards MF Doom are holding close to their chests. So it's really interesting to see what they want to do to either neutralize a potential threat from MF Doom or play to their own strength. And my 2 cents is that they should probably play to their own strength, you know what I mean? Because I don't think that this sort of game plan from MF Doom is sustainable in the long run, especially now that they're thinking about it and they're aware of it.
Yeah, definitely. I think like the now pick is really good on Inkies. I think it's good into the double brawler, but I think a pick like they just slammed a Dubu, the humble Dubu. The double brawler just really shuts down. I think Drakkar has a pretty okay time into Dubu. You know, once you get the rollout, stall out the log, a strike shotgun, or just maybe a shotgun, you just raw dog it. That's going to be enough to get through the Dubu. But Juliet has a very tough time. Dash Punch can just get completely shut down by both of Dubu's main abilities. So it's just kind of one of those situations of like, you don't want to pick Dubu on Inkies, but MF Doom had a strategy knowing kind of the landscape of the map, and again, it was risky. It almost didn't work. I really do think that if that game goes set 5, they're cooked. But
Yeah.
they were able to make it happen, and so if I'm ThoseWhoStrikeAfter, I'm thinking like that Juliet was really hard to deal with, and we're going to Tycho next map. That's Strike's pick, and so that's a great map for Juliet. Going to be getting a lot of dash punches there, I imagine. And since it's their map pick, they can't first pick Juliet. It might be worth a ban. Of course, there's so many brawlers that can get their KOs off the edges and stuff, but it's something to consider, you know, because I think Strike has to sit down and say like, how do we maximize our strengths and minimize theirs? And I think a big strength that they had was, again, flop on Julie, showing up and getting dash punches. That's going to be even more prevalent on this narrower map where people are, you know, walking around on the edges, can get KOs off the drum when someone's staggered. I wonder what Strike is going to be able to pull out. And I'm thinking about their character pools and like, Breads could play pretty much anything. He's kind of the player to watch out for in this whole series. You know, multiple NASL guy in NASL. That's pretty big. Has seen NASL playoffs multiple times. Like, it kind of feels like MF Doom was able to figure out how to beat him in that last game. And so we're going to have to see if they can do it again this game. Otherwise, like, I'm very curious to see what he picks. My eyes are peeled. I'm watching because we saw Jack Limestone just lock the Atlas last game. And melee goalies are phenomenal on this map. Just you lock your Atlas, your Dubu, you Asher, maybe a Mako if you're feeling not bored. The opposite of bored, if you're feeling very content. But we'll have to see how it goes, as that's an Asher and Imi ban coming out from MF Doom and ThoseWhoStrikeAfter, respectively.
Yeah, we were talking a lot about potentially banning out FWOP, but you have to remember that it's Social Fox on the enemy team with God's strongest Daimi, and allowing that into the game is just equally as bad, if not worse. And with the Glass Cannon Explo start, it offers a lot of chance to maneuver around and confirm with dashes or just raw MS and power. And I think that X for Doom is likely going to take Explo and be Superman, in comparison to those who strike after running. Wait, are they using their tricks against them? Drakkar Imi for strike, and then an Era, which I can only assume is goalie. They might try and do the same thing to them and use the corners and the sort of narrow lanes of Tycho to punish MF Doom, which is really interesting because they're running a traditional comp with brawler midfield and a melee goalie to lock it down.
Yeah, I think they are. I think that's an Era goalie for Breads, and then Turbo, known to play the Drakkar midfield. Drakkar, known to pick Drakkar. I'm very surprised that we saw Social Fox pick Drakkar and not Turbo. It was Inkeys, and it was part of their plan. But usually the traditional Era goalie double brawler comp features X and Juliet. X was off the board, but I think Drakkar fills in really well, able to have a lot of coverage, which is what X really excels at, is taking space and making things difficult in the midfield. Drakkar doesn't do it the same way, but is still able to have that coverage, has that haste on his secondary that's able to kind of mitigate any sort of deficit that you would have picking Drakkar in the midfield. But on Tycho, I think double brawler sounds a lot better. We'll have to see how it works out. We are also seeing Era goalie into X, which is an interesting matchup because obviously, boom, I've beamed you. You are small. You can't move. I froze your assets and killed your family. All of it's gone every 8 seconds, and that's really tough to deal with. But X is X, and if he's not shrunk, he's going to roll over any and every ranged goalie. So it's a very push and pull kind of tug of war situation. We'll have to see how it goes, but of course, if it's Breads piloting the Era, I think I'd be pretty confident in that. Call me bold for saying the NASL player is going to be looking good on this pick in this matchup, but I believe it. And so we're rolling into this match. We are seeing the pummelers on Zonseki, a lot of glass cannons, a couple explosive entrances. It is Superman X, which warms my heart. That ability feels so bad without a Dash Awakening, so get a little bit of movement in there, and we are going to be getting right into it here.
Yeah, right into it, and right out of the gate, it is striking first. Zonseki pulling up with the Flame Flurry. Jack Limestone wise to evade, but can't really strike in that situation, otherwise he dies. An insane and swift point for those who strike second, who struck first, actually.
Yeah, soon struck them, and we are seeing a very similar situation to last game, double brawler comp, getting the barriers quickly, and that's, again, just something that they're going to excel at. They have so much pressure, and on a map like Tycho, movement is not as important. You can still take over with speed, and I think Social Fox with enough mobility, getting a twin drive or some aerials or both, or FWOP getting some peaks, some stacks, etc., is going to become very difficult to deal with. Until then, though, we're going to be seeing some good corner defense coming out from MF, or Those Who Strike After. MF Doom trying to get it, getting a lot of damage onto Turbo, but not able to secure this kill. And both barriers still up for MF Doom. They're going to have to see if they can keep holding on as both barriers are down for Strike.
Yeah, Zonseki in the pocket with the flip. Doesn't need to use it, but is able to confirm one barrier and confirm a kill onto the Estelle. It's a power play now for Those Who Strike After. The flip is used, but it's going to get stuffed by X Maximus, plus the Astral Projection as we head into overtime, soundly into overtime. Energy on the side of Those Who Strike After, who just got their second barrier. It's Turbo in the midfield using that invisibility, but Zonseki a little bit too soon on the trigger. Now it's Flop hounding the midfield with the flip, but can't hold on to the core for long. Breads has a flip of their own, and that's a dangerous angle, but unfortunately Breads and Turbo aware of it. Flop with the core, Flop with the flip, and he's gonna pass to Social Fox! Wow, what a setup! Oh my god.
Yeah, great mix-up right there, and Social Fox able to catch the clear. Bread's passing it up to Turbo there. Just getting sniped out, and that's going to be 1 point for both teams now. A KO coming out, but the Atlas res also coming through. Social Fox lives to see another 14 seconds, and this is Those Who Strike After's offense. Looking to get anything, able to get one barrier, but now stuck on the defense, and obviously the Era is going to be struggling a little bit more than the Atlas. One barrier each, and now both teams kind of fighting, trying to get ahead. That's going to be both barriers, and now Those Who Strike After have an opportunity with a big KO onto Jack Limestone here.
Yeah, big KO, and Rose Warp is on cooldown. This is a very dangerous situation, but the kill is going so well right now. 2 seconds a lot until Atlas is on. But unfortunately, they got it into a nice spot. Tight corner is still ill-equipped for it. And Those Who Strike After able to cash in on a second point.
Yep, immense, like just gigantic KO coming out right there. And able to get the ball into that corner. Get exactly what they were looking for. Just a nice push. Able to get another barrier there. But HP bars for Those Who Strike After looking a little low. Turbo might get KO'd. Flop also sharing the same fate. Just struggling to hold on right here, as that's going to be a Molten Bolt. Not tagging Flop though. Does now, and that's a KO. That's a flip from Social Fox to save the barrier, but this is a power play for Those Who Strike After.
Yeah, very familiar situation for MF Doom, and Jack Limestone just doesn't have the resources to deal with it. Nice back pass to get the tempo back and decidedly in their favor, but Flop online interrupts everything with Big Man X. Social Fox in the midfield has to win his ones, but Obscure Bread's on Seki, going to deny him for now. Still in the midfield is Social Fox, working the bot side corner, buying time for Flop to get into position. But a flip from Obscure Breads is going to deny him that. Back and forth we're going, and unfortunately, the hit stun from the Flame Flurry onto Jack Limestone makes his flip delayed, and the core goes in. A very fortuitous overtime timing for Those Who Strike After, and they get the first set.
Yep, we're seeing a little Brawlernomics at play. Big hit stun, able to lock down Jack Limestone. And now, Zonseki first pick. Not a whole lot of, like, Juliet Awakenings here. Gonna be picking up the Rampage, taking the size. That's going to be nice. Gonna have to stay on the field, which he's been able to do so far. But if the damage comes out for MF Doom, which it seems like they're speccing into again, Estelle X, welcome back to beta. We are gonna kill you. Gets that Deadeye and Quick Strike. That's going to be more strikes on the X Maximus. More damage on these beams, on these crystal thorns, on these everything, and missile prop. In addition to the glass cannon on Jack Limestone means that all of these primaries are going to be hitting like trucks. It is a lot of damage. It's going to be a little dangerous, and we're just seeing it come through right now, but that's also both barriers, 2 Rampage stacks for Zonseki, and Those Who Strike After are looking to run a little bit of a repeat of the first set.
Yeah, and in a strong spot to do so, as every single member conglomerating on the bot side of the field. Zonseki with the core uses a creative angle as Jack Limestone and Social Fox. They're low-key just trying to kill the play long enough for Turbo to fall off the map. but looks like he's going to cling onto his life for now. Social Fox looking to live onto his, and there he goes with a straight astral projection or strike shot. Some projectile from Jack Limestone. Turbo's taken off the map, and so is a flip from Zonseki trying to buy enough time for his man to get back online, which he does at such a great timing that barrier is going to stay strong for now as those who strike after try to work this offense, clearing it out away from Flop, and there's a dash punch from the mid line to get it done.
Yeah, great work from Zonseki. We saw Social Fox being patient on the strike, not looking to clear it down to Jack Limestone or clear it up and away, just waiting to see what happened. But unfortunately, Zonseki just rushing in there, able to stop that. We see Turbo picked up the extra special, is going to be throwing out these molten bolts, and again, just reducing the mobility of the enemy team, especially with an era goalie. You're able to really get that mobility advantage. A little bit of speed for the squad, and a lot of damage themselves. Going to be nice for setting up Zonseki for some dash punch KOs if he can get some staggers. But until then, we're only going to be seeing it. I think it's like 20 seconds. That's a really short cooldown. That's going to be something they want to take advantage of. In the meantime, though, Zonseki trying to save these rampage stacks, playing life, able to get out, get unstaggered, but all barriers up. That's a big KO, though, and here's ThoseWhoStrikeAfter's chance.
Yeah. Held on the defense for quite a long time, and they're still going to hold on to both barriers. Power play, 2 more seconds to cash in, but beautiful defense from MF Doom as well. Zonseki with the flip, but without a teammate, still going to try and keep the core offensive, is able to equalize 2-on-2 situation, but one barrier is going to fall. The core speed, the damage, it's flowing for both teams here as Turbo comes back online, and so will Social Fox in a moment's notice. Now, in an equal situation here, Turbo's on Seki. They're trying to fight for possession in the midfield, not going to find it. They'll only find a second bear being taken as the sustained pressure from MF Doom will come true. 2 flips to work with, but it's Flop dribbling the core for what seems to be an eternity before he shoots it bot side. And if there's any consolation for those who strike after, it's the fact that they have lots of energy to work with.
That they do. 2 big flips could make a massive difference, and that's Zonseki with 2 rampage stacks. After do a little bit of math, that awakening got re-added, and it gives 5% size with every stack. So we're looking at 15% size on Zonseki. Not bad, and we could be seeing some more. Not quite though. That's 1 flip down. Bread still has this flip though. Has been making magic happen with these flips, by the way. That first point, yeah. He was able to save the barrier just magnificently with the flip. Able to get it just in time too. So phenomenal energy management, would expect nothing less. But now Jack Limestone with the flip. Both goalies able to have this defensive potential. And flip burned though. That's going to be tough as both barriers are down. And now MF Doom looking to make something happen this set.
Yeah, Jack Limestone pushing forward with the flip, but Obscure Breads wise to it. Zonseki trying to dribble it to the bottom, is unable to win that one. Jack Limestone gets the better of him, and Flop gets the better of Turbo. Zonseki looking worse for wear as well. Will be prone to falling off the board at a moment's notice, but it won't matter as Social Fox gets Breads into a checkmate situation all on his own. And that's the second point for MF Doom.
Yep, another point on the board. That's another flip for Flop right there. Can make something happen. And still though, Turbo has been the only one getting KO'd on the side of ThoseWhoStrikeAfter, and a big KO coming out for them. But that means that Rampage and Orb stacks for Zonseki and Breads respectively are going to be intact. And so very, very funny that's worked out this way, but we're seeing Turbo looking low again. Power play not amounting to anything, unfortunately, for ThoseWhoStrikeAfter. And MF Doom able to get 1 barrier, able to get another KO, and this is looking like they're set to win.
Yeah, absolutely, but Flop is looking a little bit low here with Zonseki's flip. Could be dangerous, but the Celestial Intervention will heal him back into the play, allows him to bull rush with confidence. And there goes that second barrier. It's an open net situation for MF Doom as they still retain possession of the core, but Breads, so much movement speed off the Orb Dancer, is able to find that clear. Zonseki hounding this core, but the Cosmic Expanse will deny him for this moment. Still trying to push forward the dash punch. Every single crucial ability from Zonseki has whiffed the core. This barrier will stand, and Jack Limestone has a flip. Going to use it, beats out Zonseki once more. A flip for a flip as they work bot side, and that's a whiff strike timing. So we're able to equalize in the sets, or in the barriers, but not in the man. As Turbo gets down once more. Social Fox very close to a flip, is going to dribble the core a little bit. Has it, but unfortunately didn't use it there. Flop's bell ringer is going to be a little bit too late. Obscure Breads makes magic happen once more, but there's nothing to do with a cross-map flip pass in that situation. And MF Doom are able to secure this set.
Yeah, immaculate defense coming out from those who strike after, but unfortunately just not enough, unable to get over the finish line there as MF Doom able to get a nice strike, and all they need is one. Once barriers are open, you just need one good interaction, and that's going to be Twin Drive on Jack Limestone. We saw both barriers went down for MF Doom that last point because they were able to burn all the Atlas abilities and keep up the pressure the entire time. With Twin Drive, that's going to be much more difficult to deal with. We are seeing Breads pick up stacks and Prize Fighter on Zonseki. Now, if that guy dies, it's over. It's never been more over. He's going to have to play life and just be so careful. And we might be seeing a big focus from MF Doom on him. That's Prize Fighter down already. And that's a tough start as we see Flop picked up that size. He's going to have size, quick strike, and extra damage on his impacts. And it's a little bit of a slaughter out here.
Yeah, like lambs to the slaughter. One person dropping after the other. All three members swarming Obscure Breads. Zonseki's playing with 2 Dead Awakenings. Little bit of deja vu from Zentaro on Inky's. 2 Dead Awakenings can't be a good thing, but he's going to try and make it work like he once did before. But still, one barrier down. Offensive pressure roaring for right now, but Turbo, he just can't insert himself into these plays because he's been dying so long, so much. And Flop is able to get that second barrier down with the X Maximus. Jack Limestone with the flip, and there's the kill onto Breads. 2 members on Those Who Strike After with 2 Dead Awakenings. Things could not be looking worse.
Yep, it's only set 3, but that's no orbs, no stacks on Breads. No Prize Fighter, no Rampage. That is 2 barriers, though, right off rip for Those Who Strike After. And this set is not looking in their favor.
Yeah, not in the slightest, but they still have a lot of pressure to work with, and there's a cheeky point coming out. Even though both members of Those Who Strike After were looking battered and bruised, they got the job done in the end, and this is crucial for them. They're buying Obscure Breads a lot more time to stack his Awakenings once more, and that's a nice kill out of Turbo. Rolls reverse as there's a power play now for Those Who Strike After, and that's a crazy double angle, but Jack Limestone gets the better of it, preventing the worst, but not for long. This is a dangerous situation, but the flip centimeters from the goal line isn't going to ring true. Zonseki out of the play as he runs to munch an orb, and the worst of it is now over for MF Doom. Guys, I think Yoshi isn't talking anymore, so it's back to me again. Somehow, someway, this Atlas has died, and now we're equal 2-2. I don't know how this is happening. Really, I don't, because 2 points ago... Oh, hello, Saya. Yeah, absolutely, but they have possession of the core. They're working this offense on the long side as Flop tries to insert himself and run interference. Turbo, though, still feeding forward. Zonseki gets hit by every single ability in the book. Now we slow down the play, buy time for the forward to heal up a little bit, and that's a burn flip from Social Fox. A huge boon for those who strike after as they look and get the second barrier and keep their dreams alive. Yeah, as solid as ever as they look to activate this offense even further, but they're able to get it cleared. It's overtime, so these cores are going to go red and go so fast as Social Fox is able to get the better of Obscure Breads, as well as Fwop getting a kill, but it doesn't even matter as Social Fox uses the core speed to his advantage and gets the 3rd point they need for MF Doom to take this set.
Okay, I'm realizing that my subbing was useless because they couldn't hear me because the mic setting was wrong, but we're here for the draft at the very least. And, well, if you look at the draft, though, there are some more awakenings that are a bit of hazards. And maybe might be some awakenings that you don't want to pick on the left side of the screen. The new ones, not quite the right option here, but I think what my eyes are on is that team player from Obscure Breads that can really warp the game, get the core forward more easily, and put a lot more pressure on Jack Limestone, but it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, but it's because of Breads being an iron wall on the defense, allowing these sets to take a long time. That team player will be dangerous, but it also means that his forwards have more time to die, and they have been doing a lot of that. As we skirmish in the midfield here, fighting for possession, Turbo once again in a familiar situation, running, scurrying to get an orb, and will do so, but still looking battered and bruised. Out of the play, trying to pass up to him, but he's just so scared to push forward, knowing that at a moment's notice, he could drop like a fly.
Absolutely, and hey, I'm back. Hi fellas. I was assassinated, but MF Doom pulling ahead this game. They just have such an immaculate damage comp, and I feel like they are playing it very confidently. We are seeing Social Fox pump out a lot of damage, and it's really inhibiting this double brawler comp because obviously they have no mobility. They are very slow. The era is supposed to make up for that, but the era doesn't have a ton of defensive potential, which it's the risk that they're running. It's the push and pull that they have playing this comp. But if one of their members goes down, if they're not the ones doing the KOing, then all of a sudden it's just not going to matter very much. They are just playing the entire game with worse settings, and that's not going to amount to much when they're just getting killed over and over again. That being said, a KO comes out, but that's going to be flips burned for MF Doom, and now those who strike after, if they can survive this situation, they have an open net. Atlas does not do exceptionally well in such a situation. They might be able to push it through. Zonseki is back. This is their chance.
Yeah, this is their chance. This is overtime, but Social Fox reads it to perfection. Probably going for Copper and just chipping out Zonseki and gets the team player pass as well. That's the first point for MF Doom. 2 more before they win and they qualify. Nice live from Jack Limestone, just ripping away any sort of momentum. And that's just a worst case scenario. The Taiko drum plus the X Maximus. My God.
Yeah, that has got to be rough for those to strike after. As we are on series point, we are on qualification point for landing here. We are watching Fwop, instant transmission across the screen, as that's looking like another KO on Zonseki soon to be. And those strike after, it's do or die right here. They have to find these barriers, they have to find these points, they have to stop the momentum that MF Doom is pulling up with. Otherwise, that's going to be very tough. They need to make it happen at this point. They've got one barrier, they have the control, they have all the offense, but they also have Turbo taking a lot of damage, and that's going to be tough to deal with here.
Yeah, Turbo denied any opportunities to shine in this game as he gets a gray screen for the next 13 seconds. Jack Limestone walking up with the flip. It's centimeters. It's disaster as MF Doom. They will not be denied. Flipping forward, overwhelming Breads, who tried so dang hard. At the end of the day, the KO on repeat on Turbo, the denial of any sort of active awakening on Juliet's, it's just too tall an order for him to handle. And MF Doom will qualify, while those who strike after will not.
Yep, that's going to be MF Doom. Guaranteed NASA minimum in terms of leagues. Chance to qualify for NASL going to landing. Going to be next week. And that's phenomenal. Boom, MF Doom. They were talking themselves up a lot, have been for the past few weeks, and they showed up. Able to make it in the end, but made it nonetheless.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that is all for us for this Liftoff tournament. It's been a pleasure hosting you. I'm Too Soon, and I'm glad to see that Z Yoshi is back from the dead. Surprise. Any last words before you die again?
Yeah, I climbed out, but I'm going back, and it's gonna be dark and it's gonna be difficult. But we will be back next week again for landing. We're gonna be seeing 12 teams fight out for 4 slots in NASL. That's the big ticket. You're not gonna want to miss it. So be there or don't be there, and I'll be really sad. And that would
Don't
suck.
make him
So
sad.
don't make me sad, and you won't like me when I'm sad. So we'll see you then. Bye.
Peace.